And buzz aid be Charlie GT. 202.141 for Charlie Friends. 3 categories of driver: gold, silver and bronze. As we now have 13 cars out on circuit. Rob Friends into the pits, putting some fresh rubber on that car. Abdulaziz Al Faisal moves up into 4th position. Wolfgang Triller, double duty this weekend, running in the NGK series as well, up into 6th position from Tri-Spa Racing. All the rubber sitting out in pit lane. Temperature into him, no tyre warm. So Mahiri goes through, currently in 5th spot. Rad Rafi into the pits. Car number 5 from Team Bahrain. Mohammed Jawa goes through up into 8th position. Someone in 7th. Pits was new run. Also in, pitting 2nd, 201.511 for Charlie Friends. Currently at the top of the leaderboard. Haven't seen Zaid Ashkanani, Clement Schmidt or Bandera Lacey out yet. Magnus Oman just leaving, going through to start his first flying lap. Alain Maror goes through in 12th position. Car number 11 getting a warning flag for track infringements. And that's Sheikh Asher Al Maktoum, currently in pit lane. Just over 20 minutes remaining on the time sheets, on the time board, for this qualifying session for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. Wolfgang Triller moves up into 6th position. Fawaz Al Ghassabi goes into 11th. So Al Mahiri heads down into pit lane. Our race winner from round number 3 yesterday, and the Skydive Dubai Falcons, pulls up behind Sheikh Asher Al Maktoum and just in front of Road Rafi, bolting some fresh rubber onto his car. Salman Al-Qatar and Mohammed Jawa into the pits. Magnus Oman moves up into 11th position. Ahmed Al-Athi into the pits from 7th. Alain Maror goes into 13th position, 207.238. Abdulaziz Al Faisal moves into 2nd position, 202.870, 1.3 off the pole time at the moment set by Charlie Friends. Quite a few cars in the pit lane at the moment getting some fresh rubber on. Wolfgang Triller pits from 6th position. Fawaz Al Ghassabi does his quickest lap but doesn't improve from 12th, 205.950. So new rubber on for Road Raffy. Sheikh Ashraf Maktoum and Saad Al Mahiri. So they head out of pit lane again. Just over 16 3/4 minutes to go. This 30-minute qualifying session for round 4 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. Charlie Friends pits from the lead, coming to get some new rubber on. So most of the field still in the pits. Alain Maror goes through 13th position. Prince Abdulaziz Al Faisal, another quickest lap from him, 2:02.550, 1.03 off our current pole sitter, Charlie Friends. One of the Classic Arabia cars coming into pit lane. That is Fawaz Al Ghassabi. Halfway through the session now, 15 minutes to go in this qualifying session for Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. And it's Charlie Friends leading from Abdulaziz Al Faisal, Abdul Rahman Al Thani in 3rd, Ashraf Maktoum 4th, Saad Al Mahiri in 5th, Wolfgang Trillis 6th, Magnus Oman 7th, Akman Al Athi 8th, Salman Al Khatter in 9th, Mohammed Jawar rounding out the top 10. Still yet to see Zaid Ashkanani, Clemens Smits or Bandar Alese out on track. Rob Friends moves up into 10th position. Road Raffy doesn't improve on his 12th. This will be the start of one of his first flying laps after getting some fresh rubber on his Porsche. Charlie Friends pits. As does Alain Maror. Just under 14 minutes to go. Wolfgang Trillo goes through, currently holding on to 6th spot. That's his first outlap on fresh rubber. He'll be on his flyer now. Still quite a few cars in pit lane. Magnus Oman goes through in 7th. Rob Friends up to them. Sheikh Ashraf Maktoum into the 201s. 201.896 pushes him into 2nd position. Road Raffy up into 6th position now. 203.074. Ashraf Maktoum 201.896. Clock ticking over, around 12 minutes to go in this qualifying session for round 4 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. Jawa goes through 12th position, 2:03.958, his quickest lap, but not the quickest of this session. It's currently a 2:01.511 set by car number 14, Charlie Friends. Zach Medalarthi heads out on his first flying lap on fresh rubber. Car coming through turn 16, just having a little lock up. Wolfgang Triller up into 4th position, 2:02.873. Just lost the back end of the car on the initial turn into turn 16. Had to correct. Dropped a little bit of time on that. And pushes him up into 4th. It's Charlie Friends from Hashar Al Maktoum in 2nd. Abdulaziz Al Faisal just leaving the pits now in 3rd. Wolfgang Triller in 4th. Abdul Rahman Al Thani in 5th. Saad Al Mahiri in 6th. Rad Rafi 7th. Magnus Oman in 8th. Ahmed Al Arthi in 9th. Rob Friends in 10th. Salman Al Qatar 11th. Mohamed Jawa 12th. Fawaz Al Ghasabi 13th. Elaine Morel in 14th. Yet to see Clemens Schmidt, Bandar Alacy or Zayed Ashkanani out on track. And Clemens just goes through now and does his opening lap. He'll be on his first flyer. Got turned around at turn 1 yesterday. And great comeback drive through the field. Magnus Oman pits from 8th position. Rad Rafi moves into 3rd position with a 2:02.482. 0.7 of a second behind Hashar Al Maktoum is 0.25 of a second behind Charlie Friends, currently our pole sitter. Bandar Alacy now out on track. Zayed Ashkanani just leaving the pits, our reigning Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East champion for the 13-14 season. Jawa goes through up into 8th position with a 2:03.330. Just under 10 minutes to go. We saw Clemens Schmidt put in a blinder of a pole lap yesterday and got caught up in an incident at turn 1, dropped him back through the field. Had a good comeback drive. Ahmed Al Arthi up into 5th position in the Al Nambuda Porsche. Wolfgang Triller moves up into 5th position, 2:02.616. Abdulaziz Al Faisal now on his first flying lap on fresh rubber, currently in 4th position. Just under 9 minutes to go. Clemens Schmidt into 2nd position, 2:01.607, just 0.096 behind Charlie Friends. Hashar Al Maktoum now into 2nd position, 2:01.567, 0.040 ahead of Schmidt. 0.056 behind Charlie Friends. Rad Rafi goes through in 4th position. Bandar Alacy moves up into 12th. Salman Al Qatar can't improve on 14th. Just under 8 minutes to go. Rob Friends goes through in 13th position. Jawa doesn't improve on 11th. Zayed Ashkanani now sets out on his first flying lap. The 2013-14 champion Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. Ahmed Al Arthi, now Nabuda Racing Porsche, goes up into 4th position. Saad Al Mahiri goes through on his first flying lap on fresh rubber, currently in 9th. Wolfgang Trulli goes through. Doesn't improve position, but improves his time. 2:02, 6:04. Clement Schmidt's got the fastest first sector. Abdulaziz Al Faisal goes through in sixth position. Six minutes, 40 seconds to go. Clement Schmidt to the top of the timesheets. 2:01.393.118 ahead of Charlie Friends. 0.056 ahead of Hashim Maktoum in third. And 0.325 back to Ahmed Alathi in fourth position. So it's the Al Nabuta Racing first and fourth. Just over 6 minutes remaining. Get to see the first lap in anger from Zayed Ashkanani. Waiting for car number 1 to come around. Bandar Alaise moves up into fifth position. Salman Al-Qaeda moves up into 12th. Just under 6 minutes to go. So it's Clement Schmitz, Charlie Friends, Hashir Al Maktoum, Ahmed Alathi, Bandar Alaise, Rayed Rafi, Abdulaziz Al Faisal, Wolfgang Triller, Abdul Rahman Al Thani and Syed Al Mahiri, your top 10 at the moment. Syed Ashkanani on his first flying lap at 2:03.804. But we're going to do it on the second lap. Car 2 getting track warnings for turn 9. That's Clement Schmidt. Five minutes to go. This is the qualifying session for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. Abdulaziz Al Faisal up into sixth position with a 2:02.143. The top 7 separated by less than a second at the moment, with 4 minutes 40 to go. Charlie Friends can't improve. Clement Schmitz goes quicker again at 2:01.358, gives him a tenth over Friends. And then 0.056 back to Hashir Al Maktoum in third. 0.3 back to Ahmed Alathi. 0.2 back to Bandar Alaise. Abdulaziz Al Faisal 0.035 behind Bandar in sixth position. Saad Al Mahiri 0.2 behind Abdulaziz Al Faisal in seventh. And it's Rayed Rafi, Wolfgang Triller and Abdul Rahman Al Thani with 4 minutes remaining. Bandar Alaise doesn't improve on fifth. Salman Al-Kata goes through, doesn't improve on 12th position. .2:01.358 is the current provisional pole time set by the Al Nabuta Racing Clement Schmidt. Zayed Ashkanani moves up into fourth position, 2:01.640. Ahmed Alathi can't improve on fifth. Under 3.5 minutes to go. Syed Al Mahiri moves into sixth with a 2:01.693. Just 3 minutes remaining now in this qualifying session for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. The race will happen around about 4:20 this afternoon. Prince Abdulaziz Al Faisal moves into second position with a 2:01.496, just 0.138 behind Clement Schmidt. 0.015 ahead of Charlie Friends in third. 0.056 back to Hashir Al Maktoum in fourth. Zayed Ashkanani 0.073 behind that in fifth. Charlie Friends can't improve on third position at the moment. 2.5 minutes to go. And Clement Schmitz into the pits now. He thinks he's done enough for that pole position, 2:01.358. Sheikh Hashir Al Maktoum doesn't improve on fourth position. 2 minutes remaining. Banderolese moves into 7th position with a 2:01.901. 0.5 of a second separates the top 7 cars on track at the moment. It's very close at the top. One of the Skydive Dubai Falcon cars running very, very wide in the bowl. It's spoilt that lap. It's going to have one more lap to get it done. We're under 1 minute 15 seconds to go. That was Saeed Al-Mahiri. Zayed Ashkanani goes to the top of the timesheets. 2:01.014, 0.3 of a second over Clemens Schmidt, who is currently in the pits. He won't be able to get out and get around before the checkered flag comes out. So we're inside the last minute now, qualifying for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East, round number 4 of their championship. Clemens Schmidt, Abdulaziz Al Faisal in the pits. Sheikh Hasher Al Maktoum and Saeed Al Mahiri have another lap to see where they can get. Hasher Al Maktoum in 5th at the moment. Charlie Fringe goes through, can't improve, but he'll get one more lap as we're inside the last 30 seconds. Here comes Hasher Al Maktoum down towards the start line, currently in 5th position. Can't improve on that, 2:03.314. He's got one more lap to get it done as we click over 10 seconds to go. Saeed Al-Mahiri going very slowly down the back straight. I think he's done his qualifying session, currently in 8th position. Finished on top of the podium yesterday. Zayed Ashkanani currently leading the way, 2:01.014. 2nd position, Clemens Schmidt. 3rd position, Abdulaziz Al Faisal. They're both in the pits. Charlie Fringe in 4th. Hasher Al Maktoum in 5th. Ahmed El Arsi in 6th. Checkered flag is out. Vander Lacey comes down through pit lane and takes that. He's currently in 7th position. Zayed Ashkanani goes through and cements his pole position with a 2:01.014. We've still got Charlie Fringe, Hasher Al Maktoum, Ahmed El Arthi, Saeed Al Mahiri and Abdul Rahman Al Thani out on track. And one of the Al Nabuda Racing Porsches into pit lane. And that will be Ahmed El Arthi. So we've still got possibly 3 cars that could better their positions. One of them won't be Saeed Al Mahiri, who comes in 8th position, 0.9 of a second off our lead pole time at the moment. And it'll be to see if Charlie Fringe, Hasher Al Maktoum or Abdul Rahman Al Thani can improve their positions in the top 10. And Abdul Rahman Al Thani doesn't improve. Saeed Al Mahiri goes through in 8th. Charlie Fringe heads into pit lane. Sheikh Hasher Al Maktoum has just got one more corner to negotiate. See if he can improve on 5th position. Car gets very sideways into there. I think he's really done his tyres. He can't improve. So the provisional grid standings for round number 4 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. On pole position will be Zayed Ashkanani in 2nd, Clemens Schmidt in 3rd, Abdulaziz Al Faisal. 4th position, Charlie Fringe. In 5th position, Sheikh Hasher Al Maktoum. 6th position, Ahmed Al Arthi. 7th position, Bandar Alese. In 8th position, Saeed Al Mahiri. In 9th position, Abdul Rahman Al Thani. 10th position is Raed Rafi. 11th is Wolfgang Triller. 12th, Mohammed Jawa. 13th, Salman Al Qatar. Magnus Oman in 14th, Rob Frinze in 15th, Fawaz Al Ghasabi in 16th, and Elaine Maror in 17th position. That is how they'll line up on the grid this afternoon at around about 4:20 for their 10 laps to decide who is going to win round number 4 of the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. That brings us to our lunch break. We are back on track this afternoon with 5 separate races. We have coming up at 1:30 this afternoon the 8-lap race for the UAE Sport Bike Championship. Then around 5 past 2 will be 20 minutes of the NGK Racing Series. Then at around about 2:40, we'll be into race number 2, round 2 for the Radical Middle East Cup. And that'll be over 45 minutes. Then, and around about 20 to 4 will be the Formula Golf 1000 race, round 4 for their championship over 10 laps, rounding out the day starting at around about 20 past 4 this afternoon will be the 10-lap race for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East, round 4 for their championship. There is lots of things to do. If you're in the grandstand, want to get over to the paddock, you're more than welcome to do so. We have 1-800 pizza over there, Napoli ice cream, Icon coffee, and race room simulator. So there's things to do over in the paddock. And we'll see you back on track at 1:30 this afternoon as we celebrate our 10th anniversary here at Dubai Autodrome.
And the grid is ready for the first race of the day, the UAE Sport Bike Championship, race number 2. The first race of this afternoon. 7 riders on track, all in their correct grid formation. We have Abdulaziz Bin Laden, Shino Dabidet, Mahmoud Tana, Wesley Pearce, Nasser Hussain, and Vafi Khan. As the grid is being cleared. And the green flag is out, and they're on their way. 3 wide going down the front straightaway. Good start there as they make their way towards turn 1. They will disappear out of our view and make their way through the back part of the track, turns 2 and 3. We've got a battle going on for second place. And round they come the back of the circuit, the technical part. They'll be using the GP circuit as they did yesterday, 5.39 kilometers around this Grand Prix circuit of the Dubai Autodrome. They're all still nicely in a line together behind one another. Top 4 just got a bit of a gap on 5th place as they make their way through turn 7 onto the back straightaway.
Got one bike running very wide there, going quite slow. Try and pick that up as they head off down the straight.
We've got a battle for second place as they make their way towards turn 10.
And I reckon that might be Abdulaziz Bin Laden that is going slow down the straight there to green Kawasaki. He's got up to speed again, but he had a big moment in turn 8, and that may have affected the order of the race as he gets around the back marker in turn 10, making his way back up the field. It's possibly gear selection issues as they're underway. 8 laps the race distance for race 2 of the UAE Sport Bike Championship, 600cc championship class, 1000cc invitational class. I think that's probably Gurno Dabita out in the lead. Mahmoud Tana down in 4th place, just behind Wesley Pearce. Just up the inside of Wes now. So that was their green flag lap. They'll be starting the race very shortly. So Abdulaziz Bin Laden just getting some more time out there, getting the acceleration sorted out. We'll be underway with 8 laps of racing as they head down to the grid to form up. So it'll be Abdulaziz Bin Laden on pole, Gurno Dabita 2nd, Mahmoud Tana in 3rd, Wesley Pearce 4th, Nasser Hussain 5th, and Vafi Khan in 6th position as they get their grid spots sorted out now. 8 laps the race distance for their second race and round 4 of their championship. We have 7 bikes out there, so it's now.
And we're green this time round. Mahmoud Tana gets a good start, but so does Abdulaziz Bin Laden. They go down steep black.
Well,
Wesley Pearce.
Yeah, he's up the inside of Mahmoud Tana going down into turn 1.
As they go 3 wide down the front straightaway towards turn 1.
We'll wait till they sort themselves out and come back into view. And it's Abdulaziz Bin Laden in the lead. On the far side of the circuit. Looks like Gurno Dabita in 2nd place, Wesley Pearce in 3rd, Mahmoud Tana in 4th. So make the way through turn number 7. The tight right-hander brings on to a little straight before the 8-9 Parabola Complex. And onto the long back straight, heading down towards turn number 10. Hardest braking corner on the track.
As we see Junaid Davide take a run right there on Abdulaziz Milani, flies right past him going towards turn 10.
I think Abdulaziz may have an issue with that bike. He's up the inside down into turn 10.
It looks like he's made it stick through turn 10.
Yeah, Gurno just outbraked himself there. He ran wide, and that's put Wesley Pearce up onto the back of Gurno Dabita. And it's Mahmoud Tanner in 4th position. We'll give you all of the positions as they come across the stripe for the first of their 8 laps. Quite unusual, the difference in speed. Abdulaziz bin Laden's bike is normally a lot quicker in the straight line. So he may be having some issues with the Kawasaki ZX6R as he leads the field into the turn 14 bowl. And it's Gurno Dabita in 2nd, Wesley Pearce in 3rd, Mahmoud Tanner in 4th position. Tanner's got a run on Pearce. Pearce is on the 899 Pan and Go, got a little bit more straight line speed out of the corners as the leaders come around turn 16 for the first time.
Mahmoud Tanner right up behind Wesley Pearce there. 2:16.167 for Abdulaziz bin Laden, the leader of the race, completing lap 1.
So we've got Nasser Al-Shiba out there today on a road bike. He didn't race yesterday, but he's out there today. And then we've got Vafi Khan in 6th, Nasser Hussain in 7th. As they head on down the straight, as our leaders already approaching turn number 5. And the positions stay the same. Abdulaziz bin Laden in the lead from Gurno Dabita, Wesley Pearce and Mahmoud Tanner. Unusual to see Tanner back behind those bikes. He finished in front of them yesterday. And this should be a circuit that favours the 1000cc bikes with the higher horsepower, with the 2 long straights in it. You can see the pace of Gurno Dabita's 1000cc heading off down there, but Abdulaziz bin Laden is absolute dynamite under brakes into the braking zone. And 165 kilos for the 600s, 185 for the 1000s. So the 1000cc bikes have got to stop a lot more speed, so they do get on the brakes a little bit earlier than the 600s. So they head up turn 12. Around the fast-flowing left-hander at 13, and they'll come into view around turn 14. Now it's Abdulaziz bin Laden. Gurno Dabita running quite high up on the bowl. Mahmoud Tanner's got past into 3rd place, past Wesley Pearce. Then it's Nasser Al-Shiba in 5th place. So they come down to complete 2 laps, 6 to go.
And bin Laden comes across the line with a 2:11.102. Gurno Dabita also a 2:11.445. Mahmoud Tanner comes across line 3rd with a 2:11.702, just 1.5 seconds behind the number 99 Gurno Dabita in that on the 1000 Invitational class bike.
So Mahmoud Tanner was quickest in Sector 1, Gurno Dabita quickest in Sector 2, and Abdulaziz bin Laden quickest in Sector 3. And quite interesting to see the sector times for the various power, as the leaders are already around into turn 7.
As Rafi Khan and Nasser Hussain come across the line, 2:28.404 and a 2:30.384, both personal best for those two, as they make their way down towards turn 1, as the leaders make their way onto the back straight. The leading 4 still got quite a nice gap there on 5th place, as they make their way down towards turn 10. Gurno Dabita catching the number 88 of Abdulaziz bin Laden, but just can't quite get past him. They make their way through turn 10. Nasser Al-Shiba sitting just 10.5 seconds behind the leading 4. As he now enters turn 10. The leaders make their way down, back straight away towards turn 14. Still very close. Abdulaziz bin Laden and Jeannot Dabide seem to just gapping the 3rd and 4th place just a bit. We see we've got some overtaking happening on the back straight away towards turn 10.
That'll be probably Vafi Khan and Nasser Hussain, as our front 4 are fairly well locked together. Even though the gap is increasing, Mahmoud Tanner is chasing down Gernot Dabide. Dabide on the 1000, Tanner on the Honda 600. So our leader comes into turn 16 to complete 3 of 8 laps. .2:11.140 for Bin Laden, 2:11.425 quickest lap for Gernot Dabide. Hasn't quite got to the 2:11.102 fastest lap of the race, but he did the fastest first sector time. There's Mahmoud Tanner with a 2:11.745. Wesley Pearce 2:12.815. Nasser Al-Shiba in the 2:18s. He's coming across the line now. 2:23 on that lap for Nasser. And they brought that road bike down this morning. They're busy taping up headlights and taking the mirrors off it. And there's Vafi Khan and Nasser Hussain. We'll see if they have changed positions as they both head down to turn 16. I can see the bright yellow leathers of Nasser Hussain has made that move stick over Vafi Khan. And he moves up into 6th position with a 2:23.823. Not too far off Nasser Al-Shiba's lap times, but there's quite a gap out there. And so 23 seconds between Nasser Al-Shiba and Nasser Hussain. And there's the leaders on the back straight. And it's Abdulaziz bin Laden from Gernot Dabide, Mahmoud Tanner and Wesley Pearce, our front fighting 4. 2 1000s in that mix, 2 600s. Thousands belonging to Gernot Dabide and Wesley Pearce, 2nd and 4th. And the 600s from Abdulaziz bin Laden and Mahmoud Tanner, 1st and 3rd.
As we just wait for the leaders to make their way towards turn 14. And here comes Abdulaziz bin Laden, still leading the race in front of Jeannot Dabide, then followed by Mahmoud Tanner and Wesley Pearce.
Wesley got into the bowl quite hot there. The back end was skipping around under brakes. He's made a couple of bike lengths up over Mahmoud Tanner as they head out of turn 15, leader into turn 16 now. On Saudi Falcons, Abdulaziz bin Laden. And Gernot Dabide follows him around 16, coming through to complete lap number 4.
And a 2:10.855, a personal best, and the race best so far for the number 18 of Abdulaziz bin Laden. 2:10 as well for Jeannot Dabide, as Mahmoud Tanner comes across line 3rd, followed by Wesley Pearce.
We've got a big gap over Nasser Al-Shiba in 5th. Then it's Nasser Hussain and Vafi Khan behind them. We should see the leaders get into the back markers before the end of this race. We have about 3.5 laps remaining.
As the leaders make their way through turn 7. Still close together with the top 2. Got a little bit of a gap over Mahmoud Tanner. As Vafi Khan makes his way towards turn 16. He's edging out the gap over Nasser Hussain edging the gap over Vafi Khan. Nasser Hussain comes across line at 2:23.239, personal best for him on the number 34 600cc. And Vafi Khan comes across line at 2:29.137, 8 seconds adrift from Nasser Hussain as the leaders make their way through turn 10 and up towards the hairpin. Still the top 4 in very close proximity, just over 4 seconds separates the lot. As the leaders make their way into the bowl, Abdulaziz bin Laden still leading from Jeannot Dabide. And those front 2 now pulling out further ahead of Mahmoud Tanner and Wesley Pearce. Wesley Pearce is not letting Mahmoud Tanner get too far away. The leading duo certainly are. Abdulaziz bin Laden a lot quicker than that number 99 in some aspects as they come across down the start-finish straight. A 2:10.741, so that number 88 of Abdulaziz bin Laden is getting quicker. 2:11 for Junaid Abide. They're split by just 1.8 seconds. Across the line, Mahmoud Tanner in third and Wesley Pearce in fourth. Mahmoud Tanner just 4.6 seconds behind the number 99 of Junaid Abide as they make their way around the technical part of the back track. As Nasser Hussain makes his way through turns 15 and down towards 16. Abdulaziz bin Laden still leading. Fast sector time there for Abdulaziz bin Laden in sector 2 on that last lap. Junaid Abide in sector 1 went the fastest, 43.9, as the leaders make their way through sector 1. Nasser Al-Shiba comes across the line, 2:22.607, 40 seconds adrift from the leading 4. As the leaders make their way towards turn 10, Junaid Abide gets a good run down that back straightaway, but he cannot make a move on the number 88 of Abdulaziz bin Laden. As Nasser Hussain comes across the line, a 2:24.963, 28 seconds adrift from 5th place, Nasser Hussain on the 1000 Invitational class bike. As Vafi Khan also comes across the line, a 2:31, now 14 seconds adrift from Nasser Hussain. As Junaid Abide goes fastest in sector 1, a 43.6. And they make their way into the bowl of turn 14. Still Abdulaziz bin Laden leading from Junaid Abide. And they're breaking away from the 3rd place battle between Mahmoud Tanner and Wesley Pearce. Last time around, 1.4 seconds adrift those two were from the leading duo. As the leading duo do make their way through turn 16, still Junaid Abide trying to catch the number 88 of Abdulaziz bin Laden as they make their way across the timing line. A 2:11 and a 2:10.287 for the number 99 Junaid Abide on the 1000 Invitational class. So race best with Mahmoud Tanner now 7 seconds adrift from the leading duo there. Wesley Pearce still 0.7 of a second behind Mahmoud Tanner as they make their way now to the back parts of the track, the technical stuff. They'll be catching the back end of the field with 2 laps to go in this 8-lap race. As Nasser Al-Shiba makes his way through the bowl of turn 14. And still Abdulaziz bin Laden on the number 88, still out in front as they make their way through sector 1. They make their way down the back straightaway towards turn 10. And Junaid Abide looks like he's got a good run there on the number 88. He's gone past him. Will Abdulaziz bin Laden get repast him on turn 10? He does. So he makes a move on the inside. Abdulaziz bin Laden goes back in front of Junaid Abide on the number 99. They make their way out of turn 10 and 11. Mahmoud Tanner still with Wesley Pearce right behind him. 0.7 of a second last time round. They were 7 seconds adrift from the leading duo. As the leaders make their way through turn 14, Junaid Abide still sticking with the number 88. As Vafi Khan comes across the line, 21 seconds adrift from Nasser Hussain, a 2:31.081. 2 laps to go for the leader. This time around will be 1 more lap to go. Abdulaziz bin Laden still leading over the number 99 of Junaid Abide. Across the line, the leaders come, a 2:11.855 for Abdulaziz bin Laden. And Junaid Abide, a 2:11.306 on the number 99. As Mahmoud Tanner and Wesley Pearce come across the line, 0.5 of a second behind Mahmoud Tanner as Wesley Pearce that time by. So he's catching Mahmoud Tanner as the leaders make their way through turns 3 and onto the back start The leaders make their way towards turn 7. Can Junaid Dabide get a good run and stay ahead of Abdulaziz Bin Laden when they come down the back straight away towards turn 10? Mahmoud Tanner still has Wesley Pearce in close proximity. Nasser Al-Shiba comes down through turn 16 to complete his 7th lap. And across the line, Nasser Al-Shiba comes 2:25. He's 1 minute and 5 seconds behind the battle for 3rd place there behind Wesley Pearce and Mahmoud Tanner. Mahmoud Tanner and Wesley Pearce make their way through turn 10 and 11. Still very close together, those two. As Wesley Pearce looks like he's got a run going into the hairpin. Couldn't quite get there. We wait for the leaders to come through turn 14. As Nasser Hussain comes across the line, 28 seconds adrift from Nasser Al-Shiba. The leading pair come through turn 14. They get past some lap traffic, and Junaid Dabide looks ahead of Abdulaziz Bin Laden, but Abdulaziz Bin Laden is trying to get past him again through turn 15. That 1000cc bike still ahead as they come down to turn 16. Abdulaziz Bin Laden is looking for a run. He gets past him coming through turn 16. And Abdulaziz will get the checkered flag. It's very close to Junaid Dabide. Who's going to come across the line first? And I dare say Junaid Dabide by 0.055. He edges out Abdulaziz Bin Laden for the victory in race number 2 as Mahmoud Tanner and Wesley Pearce come across the line. 10 seconds back from the leading pair. That was awfully close finish for those two. It's now we just wait for Nasser Al-Shiba and Nasser Hussain to come across the line. Rafi Khan finishing 1 lap down. So Junaid Dabide finishes first on the number 99 1000 Invitational class, ahead of Abdulaziz Bin Laden, the number 88, just 0.055 seconds behind Junaid Dabide. That was definitely a photo finish right there. Mahmoud Tanner followed in 3rd, and followed by Wesley Pearce. So we just wait for Nasser Al-Shiba and Nasser Hussain come across the line. Fastest lap, 2:10.287 by the number 99, Junaid Dabide. Makes his way towards 15. Around 10. Seven, fastest of the race, followed by Abdulaziz Bin Laden, the number 88. 0.055 seconds behind. It was a very, very close finish. Mahmoud Tanner finishes 3rd, Wesley Pearce 4th, Nasser Al-Shiba 5th, Nasser Hussain 6th, and Rafi Khan 7th. We'll have the podium presentations very shortly for the UAE Sport Bike Championship, race number 2. Coming up next will be the NGK Racing Series number 2. The second race of the weekend, which will be round 6. Very shortly after this. The riders make their way into lane. That concludes our first race of the afternoon. UAE Sport Bike round number 4, 2014-2015 season. Coming up next we have the NGK Racing Series race number 2 of the weekend. Round number 6 followed by the Radical Middle Eastern Cup. That'll be round number 2. Then the Formula Golf 1000, their second race of the weekend. And then it's the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East, round number 4. And that will be at 20 past 4 this afternoon. We'll do the podium presentations for the UAE Sports Bike Championship very soon. We just wait for all the riders to make their way back to pit lane. For the race 2 of the NGK Racing Series, Michael Amamullah in the Bentley Continental GT3 will lead the field. He'll start from pole position, followed by Lim Kyung Liam, then Wolfgang Triller, Basha Mardini, Frederick Fatin, Lim Kyung Wee, Kostas Papatonis, Peter Valek, Alexandros Anivas, Thomas Sorensen, Marcel Krusin, and Peter England. One of the Porsches makes its way out pit lane, followed by the Bentley Continental GT3. Sorensen also leaving pit lane. Renault Clio Cup. It'll be a 20-minute race. So using the Grand Prix circuit, 5.39 kilometers around, 16 corners in total. Kostas Papatonis, the number 1 Seat Leon Super Cupra, leaves pit lane as well. Followed by the Mercedes SLS. Car makes his way. We have alongside him, Basha Mardini.
Race complete.
Mercedes. Grid. Porsche Ferrari. On track for race number 2, the NGK Racing Series. This is round number 6. The NGK Racing Series. There are classes down here today. GT3 machines, just wait for the final to make their way around towards the grid. They will form the grid up. They have a quick formation lap. Cleo, Alexander Tanibas pulls into his grid slot. Green flag waves on pit lane to symbolise that everyone is in their correct grid slot. Grid will now be cleared. Position, we've got Michael Amamula in the Bentley Continental GT3. Alongside him, Lim Kyong Liam, Mercedes-Benz SLS. There's Wolfgang Thriller, Masha Mardani, 4th place. Frederick Fatin, 5th. Lim Kyong Lee in the 6th grid slot. Costas Papantonis in 7th. Peter Valek in 8th grid position. Alexandros Anivas in 9th. Thomas Sorensen in 10th. Marcel Kusin entering in 12th. As the safety car heads out. Waves for the formation lap. Bentley Continental towards the line, followed by Mercedes, the Porsches, the Ferraris, the Fiats, the BMWs, and the Renault Clios. They'll get off the line.
UAE Sport Bike Championship, we're going to start with the 600 class, and in third place in the 600 is Nasser Hussain. Second place, Anand Tana. And the winner of the
exciting start of the NGK Racing Series race number 2 of the weekend, round number 6. Bentley Continental GT3 will lead the field. Through turn 14, they start to come up in a grid formation. Alongside the Bentley Continental GT3 will be the Mercedes-Benz SLS. We are in their grid slots. Around turn 15. Safety car ahead. The safety car makes its dive into pit lane. Bentley Continental GT3 will lead the field through turn 16 and get this race underway. In fact, they are in their correct grid slots. Around turn 16 they come. Race is underway. Hamilton is still leading. Beat Bentley Continental GT3. 20 minutes of the race. 20 minutes for this race. The leaders making their way through the technical track. Continental leading the field. Back to third place between two Porsches. By the Mercedes-Benz SLS, Michael Hamilton behind the wheel of Bentley, making their way towards turn 10. Quite a gap on the two Porsches behind them. Bentley makes his way through turn 10. Alexander Zanibas, red BMW. Leaders make their way through turn 12. Still ahead. Liam. Make their way to 16. Lady Drag Racing. He comes across the first. 4912. And in with the Mercedes SLS is Lim Kyung Lee. Mardini come across the line at 207 and 209. Across the line, Frederick Fatana, the Ferrari 458 Drag Racing. 213, 163. Lim Kyung Wee, 215, 115. Babatonis, Class 1. Sierra Leone Super Cobra, 219, 164. Peter Valek moves up, so does Marcel Cousin. Two Class 1 BMWs. And drives through penalty for car number 97. From Mike. So Lim Kyung Liam sits 2 seconds behind that Mercedes SLS. Sorry, sits behind the Bentley Continental GT3 in his Mercedes-Benz SLS as the leaders make their way towards turn 10. We see the two BMWs very close together, battling for 8th place. And it's Peter Valek and Marcel Cousin. They're separated by just 1 second between the two of them. And then we've got a battle at the back between Thomas Sorensen and Peter England in the two Clio Cups, the number 66 and the number 65. Thomas Sorensen in number 66, sitting in 11th with Peter England behind him, number 65. As the leaders make their way through turn 14. Through the bowl is still the Bentley Continental Lim. He sits in 3rd, just ahead of Basha Maldini, who is 1.6 seconds behind Wolfgang Triller. Michael Muller comes across the line at 2:02.151 to 2:03.398. He's extended that gap over Liam by 3.2 seconds. Wolfgang Triller across the line in third, followed by Bashar Mardini, 87. 2:06.691 for him, his personal best. Frederick Fatan in the Ferrari 458 across the line with 0. Just over 15 and a half minutes to go. We across the line 1.4 seconds to drift from number 98 Ferrari. Scott Babatunnis, the class leader in class 1. Across the line of 2:18.588, his personal best. Thomas Sorensen sits 9.5 seconds behind Alexandros Anivas. The leaders make their way out of turn 10 and 11 up through to turn 12. Car number 97 still drive-through penalty for a start line infringement. It's Michael Ammermuller in the Bentley Continental GT3. As that car makes its way towards turn 14. He's followed by Lim Kyung Liam. 3.23 seconds adrift last time round. Liam makes his way around turn 14, followed by Wolfgang Triller. Mardini also follows Wolfgang Triller. The leader got a bit of a gap over Lim Kyung Liam. Let's see what the gap time is this time round, as the Bentley comes across the line at 2:02.489. Liam at 2:04.727, now 5.4 seconds behind the leader in that Bentley Continental GT3. As Wolfgang Triller and Bashar Mardini come across the line at 2:04.920 for Triller and at 2:05.972 for Bashar Mardini. 3 laps completed for the top 4, with just under 13 and a half minutes to go. As Frederick Fatan and Lim Kyung Wee come across the line, separated by just 0.8 of a second between those two. There's the 2 BMWs still together, followed by Alexandros Anivas as they make their way out of turn 14. Across the line comes Kostas Papantonis at 2:18.050, his personal best of the race. 21 seconds adrift from the back bumper of Lim Kyung Wee, as the 2 BMWs make their way out of turn 16. And Thomas Sorensen and Peter England there, still quite close together. Just separated last time by 1.7 seconds. As Marcel Cousin and Peter Van Leck, Alexandros Anivas come across the line, separated by 4 seconds. .2:26.193, personal best for Alexandros Anivas. 2:30.521 for Thomas Sorensen, who's ahead of Peter England, who just did a 2:30.594 in his Renault Clio Cup car. As the leader makes his way through turn 14, he'll be reaching the back markers very soon. He's followed by the Mercedes-Benz SLS of Lim Kyung Liam. As the number 97 comes into pit lane to serve his drive-through penalty, which will hand the lead over to Lim Kyung Liam. As the Bentley Continental GT3 makes his way into pit lane. Got to slow down, make sure he doesn't incur another penalty, as Lim Kyung Liam takes the lead at 2:02.676. Across the line is Wolfgang Triller, 2:04.901. So Wolfgang Triller might move up into second place even. And the Bentley might lose out to Bashar Mardini as well, who did a 2:05.886. As Frederick Fatan and Lim Kyung Wee come across the line, 0.6 of a second, separate those two. And the Bentley is indeed behind Basha Mardini. So the Bentley drops from first down to fourth. And the Mercedes-Benz of Lim Kyong Liam now leads as Costas Papatonis comes across the line there, 2:18.835, 30 seconds behind Lim Kyong Wee. He's of course the Class 1 leader, as Frederick Fatin and Lim Kyong Wee battling out for 5th place. Tom Sorensen and Peter England still very close together. As Marcel Cousin and Peter Valek come across the line, 1.7 seconds separate those two, followed by Alexandros Anivas, 5.3 seconds adrift from those two. Alexandros Anivas leading the Class 2 Clio, as the Mercedes-Benz SLS of Lim Kyong Liam makes his way out of the bowl, followed by Wolfgang Triller, who'll move up into second. Behind him will be Basha Mardini, followed by the Bentley Continental GT3 of Michael Ammermuller.
And I think Ammermuller...
It does appear Michael Ammermuller has gotten past the Porsche of Bashar Mardini, but we'll wait for them to come across the timing line to double check as Lim Kyong Liam comes across the line. Wolfgang Triller moves up to second, 2:04.962, 7 seconds adrift from Lim Kyong Liam. As the Bentley did stay in third.
He's 17 seconds off the lead, 10.7 seconds off second place, 9 minutes to go. And he'll need to really pull in those qualifying laps. We can see if he can drop it into the 59s. He was very close in qualifying yesterday to that magic sub-2 minute lap for the GT3s.
And as they came across the start-finish line there, Lim Kyong Wee was looking at the back of Frederick Fatin, looking to make a move.
And that's for Class 4 honours for the GTB cars.
But Frederick Fatin stays ahead in the Ferrari 458. As the Mercedes-Benz SLS comes up to lap traffic, going towards turn 10, gets past them enough. Peter England looks like he's going to try and make a move, and Thomas Sorensen as well.
And the distance of the back straight is the distance from the leader in the SLS to the Mercedes of Michael Ammermuller. That's a pretty big gap. We'll keep an eye on it as it comes down. So 17 seconds off the lead, 10.7 seconds off second place.
Costas Papatonis comes across the line, 2:17, 40 seconds adrift. But he's still the Class 1 leader.
Marcel Cousin from the Czech Republic in second place in the Class 1 cars. Peter Valek in third. And it looks like one of the BMWs has got an issue. Going very slowly out of turn 14.
The Mercedes-Benz gets past it as we see Wolfgang Triller make his way past some lap traffic coming out of turn 14. Getting past Thomas Sorensen and Peter England, who have now swapped positions.
And the Bentley might get them on the straight as it comes around now.
As one of the BMWs makes its way into
pit lane. That's Peter Valek in the BMW.
So that Lim Kyong Liam comes across the line, 2:04 leading the race. 6 laps completed for the leader with less than 7.5 minutes to go as Wolfgang Triller comes across the line, 2:05.184, the gap of 7.5 seconds.
And the Bentley's out in pursuit now. 2:01.511 for Ammermuller. The gap down to 7.1 seconds behind Triller, 14.7 behind the leader. 7 minutes to go in the race.
And as he just went down the front straightaway, he just disappeared out of view. I could just see the back of the Bentley going past the 2 back markers of the Renault Clios, Peter England and Thomas Sorensen. As across the line is Frederick Fatin and Lim Kyong Wee.
As our leader, Lim Kyong Liam, goes past Alexandros Anivas into turn 8, exits turn 9 onto the back straight. We had the full length of the back straight last time around. The Bentley was just exiting the turn, and he's just exiting the turn now, and he's cut that distance by 1/3 on that lap. So he hits the club link at the same time as the SLS turns into turn 10. So the gap coming down. He was 4 seconds a lap quicker than Wolfgang Triller last time around. 2:05.184 for Triller, 2:01.511 for Ammermuller.
As we see Costas Papatonis, the Class 1 leader, coming out of turn 16. Some cross to complete his 6th lap. 2:18.479, 49 seconds adrift from
6 minutes to go. And we'll send Chris down to the podium so he can have some fun down there.
And the Mercedes-Benz comes through turn 14, getting past BMW there. Marcel Cousin. And Wolfgang Triller not far behind, and neither is that Bentley as well, as it comes on the inside of turn 14 on Alexander Anivas in that Renault Clio Cup car.
Yeah, Anivas played very nicely there. Saw him coming in and just stayed wide off the line to let the Bentley go through. Let's have a look at the gaps. So our leader goes through now. He's got 8.5 seconds over Wolfgang Triller and 2.8 seconds, a 2:01.317 for Amamullah. He's pulling in Wolfgang Triller, and he is 11 seconds now off the lead with 5 minutes remaining.
That car is certainly getting quicker.
I think the red mist may have come down in Mr. Amamullah's helmet.
He's all fired up from that drive-through penalty. He's not happy about that.
No, he's not. He just got balked slightly there by Marcel Cousin in around turn 3.
But now he's coming close to the back bumper of Wolfgang Triller as they make their way through the back part of the track.
Amamullah, Formula 1 test driver. So he knows how to pedal a car very quickly as he's right up behind Wolfgang Triller as they go into the 8-9 complex. And heads off down the back straight. Our leader now down into turn 10. The gap was 11 seconds last time around. Lim Kung and Leon lapping the 2:04, Triller in the 2:05s, Amamullah in the 2:01s. Then it's Frederick Phaeton from Dragon Racing leading Class 4 from Lim Keong Wee. And Kostas Papantonis leading Class 1 from Marcel Cousin. Peter Valek out of the pits now, heading back out onto the circuit. Alexandros Anivas leading Class 2 Clio Cups from Peter England and Thomas Sorensen. 3:45 on the clock to go. There's a race number 2 for the NGK Racing Series. And this is round 6 of their championship. As Lim Keong Liam brings the SLS onto the start-finish straight. And that Bentley is coming down to turn 16 now. Let's put the move on Wolfgang Triller up into second place. Triller and Amamullah playing in Class 6. And Lim Keong Liam is in Class 3 for the GTA cars. 3 minutes to go. The gap is 10 seconds with 3 to go. That's not... It's going to be pretty difficult, but Frederick Phaeton and Lim Keong Wee having a great battle out there for the Class 4 honours as they come down to turn 16. The 458 Challenge Cup car versus the Porsche. And that's a 991 Cup car as gets into the slipstream going down the start-finish straight. And that's for the Class 4 honours. Two minutes 20 to go as the SLS goes around turn 10 at the end of the back straight with a 10.9 second gap over Michael Amamullah in the Lecton Racing Bentley Continental GT3 as they head up. So the distance between turns 11 and 12 is the distance between those two cars as Lim Keong Liam exits turn 12, heads down. He's around turn 13 now as the Bentley comes around turn 12. See what the gap is on this lap. The SLS comes into turn 14, 1:45 to go on the clock. And he comes around turn 15. The Bentley's in turn 14. The gap was 10.9. I think the last lap board is going out now to Lim Keong Liam. One more lap to go, 5.39 kilometres as he crosses the line, completes 9 laps. Let's have a look at what this gap is, a 2:03.538 for Liam. A 2-minute flat, 9:40 for Michael Amamullah, and that puts him 8.3 seconds behind as they head out on their last lap. Wolfgang Triller in third place, currently second in Class 6. Heads off down the start-finish straight. And the battle continues on between Frederick Phaeton and Lim Keong Wee as they come into turn 14. They've got the slower BMW of Peter Valak just in front of them, and that's going to balk the Ferrari as they come into turn 14. He gets past him under brakes. So does Lim Keong Wee, and then nose to tail coming around 16. They'll have one lap to go to sort out the Class 4 honours. Going across the line now. 0.6 of a second separates those two. And the SLS is down into turn 10 on his final lap. That's Lim Keong Liam. And I think Michael Amamula has decided, I can't catch that in one lap. And he's just backed the pace off a little bit as our leader now exits turn 12. As Amamula approaches turn 12. Good battle on the Clios. Peter England and Thomas Sorensen having some fun out there in the Class 2 Clio Cup cars. As our leader in the SLS, Lim Keong Liam, comes around turn 14. He's got Marcel Kusin just in front of him, followed by Kostas Papantonis, who's got the Bentley right behind him. And Lim Keong Liam heads down to turn 16 for the final time. Heads down towards the stripe and takes the win in race number 2 of the NGK Racing Series. Peter Valak comes through in place. Michael Amamula, great drive back from a drive-through penalty. 7 seconds was the distance between first and second, but Amamula takes the win in Class 6. Kostas Papantonis has already crossed the line to take the win in Class 1. Wolfgang Triller comes across the line and takes second place in Class 6, third overall. As we wait for the rest of the cars, the Ferrari still in front. Frederick Phaeton in the Dragon Racing Ferrari 458 Challenge Cup car, and Lim Keong Lee in the Porsche 991 Cup car. So down into turn 16 for the final time. Another very impressive drive from Frederick Phaeton as he comes across the line and takes the win in class number 4 by 0.08 of a second over Lim Keong Wee. Great racing in Class 4 for the GTB cars. Just waiting for Marcel Kusin to come across the line, exiting turn 16 now in the BMW 130i. He'll take a second place in Class 1 touring cars. Alexandros Anavas heading down towards the checkered flag, taking the win in Class 2 and the Clio Cup. Our reigning Clio Cup champion. And then the battle for second place in Class 2 and Clio Cup is not done with yet. Thomas Sorensen behind Peter England as they head down towards turn 16. England moves the car mid-track. Sorensen can't get up the inside. That's going to affect Peter England's exit. Sorensen's right on his back bumper. They're going to be side by side coming down the straight. Who's it going to be? Well done to Peter England, taking the win taking second place in the Class 2 Clio Cup by 0.2 of a second over Thomas Sorensen. So in Class 3, Lim Keong Liam taking the win. Class 6, Michael Amamula takes the win from Wolfgang Triller. In Class 4, Frederick Phaeton takes the win from Lim Keong Wee. In Class 1, it's Kostas Papantonis taking the win from Marcel Kusin and Peter Valak. And in Class 2 Clio Cups, it's Alexandros Anavas taking the win from Peter England and Thomas Sorensen as the Lecton Racing Bentley Continental GT3 in the hands of Michael Amamula comes in. He's going to be on the top step of the podium. He takes the win in class number 6. Chris will have all of the podium presentations reasonably shortly as we work our way up to the Mini Enduro race for the Radical Middle East Cup. 45 minutes of racing coming your way. And we'll be live streaming that as well. Get onto the Radical UAE website and you'll be able to find the live stream there. We've got 3 in-car cameras, plus a camera up in the grandstand as well. And you can get on board with some of your favourite drivers in the Radical Middle East Cup. So a huge amount of silverware down there to be presented. And we've got Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, Class 4 and Class 6 plus Clio Cup. This podium could take a little while. Chris will be down there to sort all of that out very shortly as Frederick Phaeton brings his Ferrari 458 Challenge Cup car from Dragon Motorsports, Dragon Racing, and Lim Keong Wee in the 991 Cup car. And GDL Racing heads down to his pit box. We'll get them all up on the podium very shortly. And a little bit of a radical racing coming your way very shortly here at Dubai Autodrome as we celebrate our 10th anniversary of racing this year. So that was the round 6 in their championship for the NGK Racing Series. Once again, a big thank you to NGK for all their support. If you want to, in the grandstand and want to get across to the paddock area, you are more than welcome to do so. Just head down to the ground floor level. The information booth, to the right of that is a doorway that will take you on a tunnel that goes right underneath the start-finish line. And it'll bring you up into that building just to the right of the podium. Head out onto out the back door there, and you'll come across Park Fermo, where all the cars are parked at the moment. And then you can make your way over to the paddock. We've got Icon's Coffee down there, Napoli Ice Cream, and 1-800 Pizza. All down there to refresh you. As we get ready to go radical racing with the Radical Middle East Cup. And it is round number 2 for their championship. Round 1 was yesterday. We have the Clubman class and the SR3 Supersport class. As they head out onto the grid now. On pole position will be car number 69, Tarek Al Gamal. He's sharing that with Sama Al Kabasi. In a second position will be Ludo Lafrida, sharing that with Romain Lutter. And then it will be Zamin Jaffa in third position, sharing that today with Eric Zimmerman. In fourth position will be Tom Ardolino, sharing with, Richard Ardolino, sharing with Tom Bale. In fifth position, Sergei Shanilov. Sixth position, Yanni Herpy. And then we have Ahmed Al Hamadi and Graham Hanna sharing car number 71, leading the Clubman class. In seventh position, then it'll be Amro Mohammed taking the start, sharing with Ollie Smith in eighth position. Rafael Anzaronzaga, the Radical RXC, in ninth. Jan Bisterbosch in 10th position, sharing that drive with David Bright. In 11th position, it will be John Illingsworth, sharing that drive today with Sean Stevens. And then it will be Catalin Voissieu in 12th position, sharing that car with Andy Marshall, as we bring Basha Mardini's car back into the pits. As the team from AUH Motorsports make their way down onto the grid to get the cars formed up for that. We should have around 12 cars out there today. 45-minute mini enduro. They'll have their pit stops during that race in the pit window, where they must come in and change drivers if they're driving with another driver, or just sit in the car. And they've got gold, silver and bronze drivers, and they all have different pit stop times to bring the field back together after the pit stops, as we wait for the drivers from the NGK Racing Series to make their way up to the podium, where a lot of silverware is going to be handed out today. And it's a very warm welcome back to the Director of Dubai Autodrome, Essa Bin Hada. He'll be presenting the silverware to the NGK Racing Series as the Radicals are out on track. 1.5 litre PRE Hayabusa engines, around about 600 horsepower, or around about 600 kilos, a couple of hundred horsepower in these SR3s, two classes, the Super Sport class for the newer cars and the Club and class for the older cars, and the Radical RXC, which is the only Radical we may see out there with a roof on it, in the hands of Rafael Unzaga as they head down to Ludo Lafrida, and pulls up on the grandstand side. Tarek El Gamal on the pit lane side. That's the pole position is on the pit lane side for the rolling start. For the standing start, it's on the grandstand side, as the drivers make their way in to have a quick drink. And we'll be underway with the podium ceremonies very, very shortly for the NGK Racing Series, race number 2, round 6. Live streaming, get onto the Radical Police website. As Romain Latta makes his car at the moment. We have the racing, that's Sergei Shalinov. He heads up around turn 10. On Gaffer up
To get past Al-Khabaisi. Seconds behind. Flag. 5 and 5th. Now we to make the way. For me. Race. Porsche. We just await the FG 1000 cars to make their way to their grid slots. We'll have the podium presentation for the Radical Middle East Cup shortly. FG 1000 cars make their way to their grid slots. Yes, Irani coming to his pole position slot in the number 33. Alongside him will be Eddie Higzu in the number 15. One row behind them will be the number 88, Ahmed Al Ghanem. Next to him will be the number 66 of Yusuf Al Badr. Then in 5th position is Al Faisal Al Zubair. And the number 17 alongside him will be Neil Greer. And in 7th place, the number 34, Masha Belhaljali, will line up in 7th place on the grid. Green flag waves a symbol that they're all in their correct grid positions. 3-minute board goes out. Grid will now be cleared. Two-minute board comes out. Drivers on the grid. Jesse Rally, pole position. Alongside him, Eddie Hagzu in the number 15. And the number 88 is Ahmed Al-Ghan, will line up 3rd. Next to him will be Yusuf Al-Badr in the number 66. In the 5th slot will be Al-Faisal Al-Zubair as the 1-minute board goes out. Next to him will be Neil Greer. 7th, Masha Belhaljali, the number 34. 6 drivers in the championship class, 1 in the masters class. As the 32nd board now comes out. Porsche Panamera safety car pulls off, and the green flag waves for the formation lap of the Formula Golf 1000, race number 2. And Ahmed Al-Ghanem there, getting off the line. Everyone else gets off the line okay. Ahmed Al-Ghanem, number 88. Now we'll move on to the podium presentation for the Radical Middle East. And just as the podiums are finished, it's time now to get the Formula Golf 1000 race number 2 of the weekend started, as they're coming down the front straight away. All nicely formed a grid. And it's green, and a good start there by the number 88. Even though he couldn't get off the line at the start, gets past Eddie Hegzu. Also side by side, 4 wide as they go down the start-finish line towards turn 1. Have to verify who gets ahead of who when they come round the next time. But Ahmed Al-Ghanem got a very good start there as they make the run down towards turn 1. And side-by-side action still going through turns 2 and 3. As they make their way towards turn 6. Through the technical stuff of the 5.39 kilometre track here. 10 laps of racing action for the Formula Golf 1000. As they make their way out turn 7. Side-by-side action there at the back. Still, the front 3 getting just a small margin between 4th place, 5th place and 6th place. We see a battle now for 5th place on the back straight away as the leaders make their way into turn 10. It looks like Eddie Hegzu's looking on the inside of turn 10. Ooh, and he's got a spinner down at turn 10. As they make their way up, now the leaders make their way up to turn 12. He has got it going again on turn 10, has he? But now the leaders, they make their way through turn 12. They make their way down the run just behind turn 14 and 15, where we can't see what's going on from up here. We'll see who is out in front this time round as the leaders make their way through turn 14. Eddie Hegzu now in 3rd place. As the leader makes his way towards turn 16. We'll see who is leading the race. It's Eddie Hegzu goes on the inside of turn 16 to take 2nd place. See if it sticks. Tajish Hirani, 208.819. Then it's Eddie Hegzu with a 212, followed by Masha Belhaljali. That is Al-Faisal Al-Zubair, Yusuf Al-Bara, Ahmed Neil Greer. Comes across the line in 6th position as they make their way now towards turn 1. And out they go towards turn 2 and 3 to the back part of the track. The technical stuff of this Grand Prix circuit. 9 laps to go. Fastest lap of the race, 208.819 by Tajesh Hirani, who sits 3.5 seconds ahead of the number 15 of Eddie Hegzu, who, and Masha Belhaljali, sits just 1/10 of a second behind the 2nd place driver Eddie Hegzu at the line. And now Tajesh Hirani extending his lead over the number 15 of Eddie Hegzu as they make their way towards turn 10. Straight away, the car still is out there on turn 10. There's waved yellow, so that means no passing in that area as the leaders make their way through turn 10, as does everybody else. And Tajesh Hirani now leading towards turn 12. He's leading Eddie Hegzu and Masa Belhaljali. Just under 4 seconds split those 3. As Tajesh Hirani now extending his lead as they make their approach towards turn 14. Through Tajesh Hirani comes, followed by the number 15 of Eddie Hegzu, followed by Masha Belhaljali. So they make their way now through turn 15. Still the top 5, still reasonably close together. Just 1 corner separates them. As the leader now makes his way through turn 16. And across the stripe comes Tajesh Hirani, a 206.425, a 204.641 for Eddie Hegzu and the number 15. Now 1.7 seconds behind Tajesh Hirani. Masab Al-Haljali, 207.116, 2.6 seconds behind the number 15. Al-Faisal Al-Zubair sits 1.1 seconds behind the number 34 with a lap time of 207.284. Yusuf Al-Bara in the number 66, 207.911 last time round. And Neil Greer in 6th place with a 2:11.617, 8 seconds behind the number 66 of Yusuf Al-Badr. 8 laps to go. Something to have been completed by the leaders. As Tajesh Hirani continues to lead over the number 15 of Eddie Hagzu. And those two now creating a gap of their own between first, second and third. Third just dropping back just a little bit as the leaders now make their way towards turn 10. And the car that was spun on turn 10 has been moved. So the yellow flag still waving that sector though, as the leaders make their way through now turn 11. Heavy braking there into turn 12. Tajesh Hirani still leading Eddie Hagzu, 1.785 seconds last time by. The leaders now make their way towards turn 14. Still Eddie Hagzu behind the number 33 of Tajesh Hirani, who now makes his way through turn 15. We're closely, and the leading duo now breaking away from third, fourth, and fifth, as the leaders now make their way through turn 16. They'll come down the start-finish line now. We can see what the gap is between the leading duo. 2:03.663 and a 2:03.466 for Eddie Hagzu. 1.561, so they came down. Eddie Hagzu got 0.2 of a second there on Tajesh Hirani. And Masha Belhaljali comes across the line at 2:05.781. 5 seconds adrift from the number 15. And Al-Faisal Al-Zubair in fourth, just under 1 second behind the number 34. And it's Yusuf Al-Badr, and Neil Greer comes across the line, 2:10.910. 13.3 seconds behind the fifth place driver of Yusuf Al-Badr. So now the leaders make their way through the technical part of the GP circuit. Around they go, and they're certainly getting away from the third place driver of Masha Belhaljali. Tajesh Hirani still continues to lead over Eddie Hagzu and the number 15, as the leaders now make their way towards turn 10. And the rest of the group now making their way along the back straightaway on the run down to turn 10, as our leaders now exit turn 10 and make it onto turn 11. They'll go uphill all the way to turn 12. Heavy braking in that area. With 7 laps to go, 3 laps completed. Tajesh Hirani still leads over Eddie Hagzu, 1.5 seconds last time around. Through sector 1, Eddie Hagzu was faster, but in sector 2, Tajesh Hirani was quicker by just 0.1 of a second over Eddie Hagzu. The leaders now make their way through turn 14. See the gap is this time round. 1.561 was what it was on lap number 3. They're coming round to complete lap number 4. 2:03.466, best lap time so far. As the leader comes across now, 2:02 and a 2:02.715. 2:02.633 for Tajesh Hirani and a 2:02.715 for Eddie Hagzu. He drops just 1/10 behind the number 33, as Masha Belhaljali and Al-Faisal Al-Zubair and Yusuf Al-Badr come across the line. Masha Belhaljali sits 7 seconds behind Eddie Hagzu, and Al-Faisal Al-Zubair and Yusuf Al-Badr sit just over 2 seconds behind Masha Belhaljali, as Neil Greer comes across the line, 18 seconds adrift. Al-Faisal Al-Zubair 1.135 seconds off the back of Masha Belhaljali, and Yusuf Al-Badr sits 1 second off the back of Al-Faisal Al-Zubair, as the leading duo continue to extend their gap on third place as they make their way now through the back straightaway towards turn 10. Now Al-Faisal Al-Zubair is getting close to the back bumper of Masha Belhaljali as the leaders make their way towards turn 12. It's still Tajesh Hirani leading over Eddie Hagzu. followed by Massa Bel Hiljali and Al Faisal Al Zubair in 4th. There's Yusuf Al Bada and Neil Greer in 6th. Fastest in Sector 1, Eddie Higzu, 40.5. Rajesh Hirani also had a 40.5 in Sector 1. As the leaders now make their way through turn 14. Still Rajesh Hirani, last time round a 1.643 gap between the two out in front. Now they make their way to complete lap number 5, and it will leave 5 to go as they come across the stripe. And a new fastest lap for Eddie Higzu, a 2:02.595. The gap now 1.584 between the two leaders. As Massa Bel Hiljali comes across the line, 2:04.632, his personal best, 9 seconds adrift from the number 15 of Eddie Higzu. Then it's Al Faisal Al Zubair, a 2:04.423, who sits now 9/10 of a second behind the number 34 of Hiljali. And then Yusuf Al Bada now 8/10 of a second behind Al Faisal Al Zubair. So those three definitely coming closer and closer with the laps as they go by. As the leaders now keep extending their gap, now up to 9 seconds. As Neil Greer comes across the line, 2:10.402, to 24 seconds behind the 5th place driver of Yusuf Al Bada. As the leaders now make their way towards turn 10 on the back straightaway, Tajesh Hirani still leading over Eddie Higzu, who's in the number 15, and 3rd through 5th still very close together as they make their way down towards turn 10. As our leaders now enter turn 10. 5 laps to go, fastest lap of the race so far at 2:02.595. Sector 1, Tajesh Hirani there, 40.3, fastest in Sector 1. As they make their way now towards turn 12. To the leading duo, continuing to extend their lead over the 3rd place driver of Massa Bel Hiljali, and the number 34. As now the leaders make their way towards turn 14, the bowl, and Tajesh Hirani enters it, and so does Eddie Higzu. Both exit nice and cleanly as they make their way towards turn 16 to complete lap number 6. Tajesh Hirani still leading. Last time the gap was 1.584 between Eddie Higzu and Tajesh Hirani, as the number 33 comes across the line at 2:02.174 and a 2:02.397, so 0.3 of a second taken out. Tajesh Hirani extends his lead by 0.3 of a second, as now the gap is 1:08.07. As Massa Bel Hiljali comes across the line, followed by Al Faisal Al Zubair and Yusuf Al Bada. Both Al Zubair and Al Bada dropping back just a little bit, 1.184 between Al Zubair and Bel Hiljali, and between Al Zubair and Al Bada is 1.867. With 4 laps to go of this 10-lap race, the leaders make their way through the technical parts of this 5.39 GP circuit.
So fabulous little cars out on display there. Ralph Furman designed Formula Golf 1000, Suzuki GSXR 1000 engine. They've got clutches, they've got a manual gear shift, no paddle shift. They've got 3 pedals in them. And a lot of these youngsters have come out of karts, and they've never driven cars like this before, especially with the gearbox, suspension and aerodynamics. So a lot for the Golf Sport Racing team to teach these young drivers, and with the help of driver coach Andy Pardo, you can see these young drivers are really coming to grips with these cars very quickly and putting in some very impressive racing, as we've seen for the first 3 rounds. And we're on round 4 of their championship, and it's Tiyaz Irani leading from Eddie Higzu, Massa Bel Hiljali in 3rd place, Al Faisal Al Zubair 4th, Yusuf Al Bada in 5th, Neil Greer in 6th.
And in Sector 2, Tajesh Hirani just did a 48.3, the fastest of the race so far. Going through Sector 2 is now he enters turn 14, followed by Eddie Higzu in the number 15. As they make their way through turn 14. We're now down to complete lap number 7. That will leave us with 3 laps to go. As the leaders now make their way through turn 16. Gap last time 1.807 between the leaders. The leader 2:02.128 and a 2:02.99. So Tajesh Hirani is definitely going quicker around the track. Eddie Higzu has to find out where he's going quicker, follow his line, get up to the back bumper, try to get past him with just 3 laps to go. So a 2:02.128 for the leader. That is the race best so far with 3 laps to go as Massa Belhaljali and Alfaiza Al-Zubair Yusuf Al-Bada come across the line. Massa Belhaljali 12 seconds adrift from the number 15. Alfaiza Al-Zubair just 1 second behind Massa Belhaljali, and Yusuf Al-Bada 2.4 seconds behind the number 17 of Alfaiza Al-Zubair, as Neil Greer now enters turn 16.
Neil running in the Masters category for the over 25s. He previously has raced in the Volkswagen Golf GTI Cup back in 2006, 2007. Very early days for motorsport back here at the Dubai Autodrome as we celebrate our 10th year of running. Our 10th anniversary, November 2004, our first race here at the Autodrome circuit, and it certainly looked a lot different around here back then. So it's Tiaz Irani leading by 2.29 seconds over EDXU, 12.6 back to Masha Belhajala, and then 1.057 to Al Faisal Al Zabar in 4th, 2.4 back to Yusuf Al Baida in 5th, 33 seconds back to Neil Greer running in 6th. As our leaders head up around turn 15. We're on lap 8 of 10. Coming up next is the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East for their 10-lap race, round 4 of their championship. Should be exciting stuff. But it's the Formula Golf 1000s out on track. Another quickest lap by Tiaz Irani. 2:01.687, 2:03.656 on that lap for EDXU. He's dropped back to 3.8 seconds. And Tiaz is getting quicker every lap. In the battle for 3rd place, Masha Belhajala comes across the line now with his quickest lap of the race, 2:04.072. And it's Al Faisal Al Zabar. Well, it's Yusuf Al Baida now getting in front of Al Faisal Al Zabar. Al Faisal at 2:09, so he's had a moment on that lap, didn't pick it up, but he's obviously run wide somewhere, and that's allowed Yusuf Al Baida to move up into 4th position. We are on lap number 9. As Neil Greer comes down to turn 16. I asked Neil Greer what he does, and he said he is in aluminium and composite tubing. I believe that is an Emirates A380. As he goes across the line now, 2:10.266, running on quite used tyres this weekend. He says he needs to do that to find out what the car's going to do on older tyres. That's his excuse for today. So it's Tiaz Irani in the lead from Eddie Axiu in 2nd place. Masha Belhajala in 3rd. Yusuf Al Baida 4th. Al Faisal Al Zabar in 5th. Neil Greer in 6th as our leader comes into turn 14. And that's car number 33, Tiaz Irani. Now starting to put a gap on Eddie Axiu with the bright yellow airbox. As he comes down to complete the lap number 9. 1 to go for Tiaz Irani. Another faultless effort from the young driver. He goes through now, extending that lead over Eddie Axiu. It's now out to 5 seconds. And the battle isn't over. 3rd place is Masha Belhajalia, but very close together as Yusuf Al Baida and Al Faisal Al Zabar nose to tail as they come down towards turn 16. They've got 1 lap to sort out 4th and 5th position. Gap was 1.163 last time across the stripe as they head down now. It's 0.6 of a second. 2:06.033 for Yusuf. 2:05.548 for Al Faisal. As our leader heads towards the back straight. Around the 8-9 complex, the parabolica that leads them onto the long back straight. Heading down towards turn 10, the hardest braking corner on the track, where they'll come face to face with the sun as they head up towards turn 11. And Tiaz heading down towards the braking zone of turn 10 now. Neil Greer has a shot at finding a gear. Finds one eventually. As our leader heads up towards the old management building. Around turn 12. And then down through this fast left-hand sweeper that brings him into the turn 14, the bowl complex behind the paddock as he enters that now. Hard on the brakes. Opens the car up as he heads up the hill towards turn 15. Another very impressive drive from young Tijaz Zarani as he heads down towards 16 for the final time. Checkered flag at the ready. And as we go into round number 4 for the Formula Golf 1000. And your winner is Tijaz Zarani. In second position, coming across the line, Eddie Axiu. Third position is Masha Balhajala as he comes down to 16 now. And Yusuf Al-Baida and our Faisal Al-Zabar heading down towards 16 as well. Now Faisal Al-Zabar has a big dive under brakes, but he's still got a car length back behind. And Masha Balhajala takes a third position in the battle for fourth. And it is Al Faisal Al-Zabar does it on the last lap into fourth position. Yusuf Al-Baida in fifth. And we wait for the sixth car to come around in the hands of Neil Greer to wrap up round number 4 of the Formula Golf 1000 Championship for 2014-2015 as Neil Greer brings his car into turn 14, running in the Masters class. Accelerates up through turn 15, doesn't hold it flat, had a spin there yesterday, which is now plastered all over Facebook. Down towards turn 16, and he's getting a lot of valuable seat time as he tries to come to grips with these fantastic little cars. So well done to Tijaz Zarani. Takes the win in race 2, round 4 of the Formula Golf 1000 Championship. Eddie Axiu in second, Masha Balhajala in third, Al Faisal Al-Zabar fourth, Yusuf Al-Baida fifth, Neil Greer in sixth. And that's how they'll line up on the podium, Tijaz, Eddie and Masha. So Chris will be down there with all of the podium presentations very shortly. We do have a slightly amended grid for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East, celebrating 6 seasons of racing. As Electron Racing is celebrating 4 decades of racing in the Middle East. As the cars make their way back into pit lane. Head honcho of Golf Sport Racing, Barry Hope, down there directing the cars into Parc Ferme. And that's Eddie Axiu just going through first, and Tijaz just coming down now, and possibly running a little low on fuel. As the Formula Golf 1000s make their way back into the pits. Big thank you to 1-800 Pizza, Napoli Ice Cream, Icon Coffee for keeping us refreshed during the day. Once again, a big thank you to Porsche Middle East for their activities in the paddock this weekend. And a big day yesterday, and a recovery truck is out on track just to collect Ahmed Al Ghanim's car. We'll be down to the podium ceremony very, very shortly once we get the drivers up there. Junior start time is around about 4:20 this afternoon for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. 10 laps will be their race distance. As they get themselves ready in their pits. As Neil Greer in the Golf Petrol car heads down to the Golf Sport Racing pit boxes. And 2 starts, 2 finishes. He'll be happy with that. Just awaiting the final placings. As we have around about 15 minutes before we're due to get the Porsche race underway. So don't forget, next weekend here at Dubai Autodrome on the 12th, round number 1 of the UAE Drift Championship. And coming up in January, the 10th running of the Hankook and 24 Hours of Dubai. Capacity grid of around about 90 cars will take place. Take part in that epic race, which starts our motorsport season off in the 2015 calendar year. Autodrome.com and tracktalk.ae is where you'll find all the information about all the activities that you can do here at Dubai Autodrome, the Race and Drive School, the Kartdrome, indoor and outdoor, laser tag, track days, and racing championships. Lots to do, so it's DubaiAutodrome.com, tracktalk.ae. So all is in readiness now for our final race of the weekend. Clerk of the course has just been out to do a clearing lap, just to make sure everything is in ship-shape fashion, as we have recovered the Formula Golf 1000 from down at the end of the main straight. as the recovery vehicle exits the circuit, and all is in readiness now for some fantastic Porsche racing. You'll see a grid of around 15 cars take to the start. We'll let you know who they all are, as we have a green flag waved in pit lane, and we fire up the Porsche 997 Cup cars. 10 laps of Porsche racing coming your way. The cars head out onto the circuit. Sunlight makes it very difficult in a couple of areas on the track, especially in the braking zones and turn-in points. The exit of turn 10 into turn 11 directly into the sun, as is coming into turn 14, the bowl area behind the pit complex, and they struggle to just pick up their braking points. On pole position should be Zayed Ashkanani, our current reigning 2013-2014 Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. And he had a titanic battle last season with Clemens Schmidt in the Autodrome racing team. And Clemens is qualified in second position. The cars make their way out of pit lane now. They'll head around to the grid and work out where they are in their positions. And then we'll clear the grid for the green flag lap to get some temperature into the tyres and get all these pressures and temperatures in the engine and the brakes up to racing speed. I was talking with Sheikh Asher Al Maktoum after qualifying this morning. He said it takes a little bit of time to get the temperatures into the tyres. Into the early evening now, and track temperature, especially down the start-finish straight, has cooled down quite a bit, as we've been in shadow for quite a bit of the day. So the track temperature dropping down, and these tyres need to run around about 80 degrees to get the maximum amount of adhesion. As the car's coming around now. Zayed Ashkanani, Clemens Schmidt, Abdulaziz Al Faisal, Charlie Friends, Kashar Al Maktoum, Ahmed Al Athi, Bandar Al Ace, Sayed Al Mahiri, Rayad Rafi, Wolfgang Triller, Mohamed Jama, Salman Al Kata, Magnus Oman, Rob Friends, Fawaz Al Gasabi, Elaine Marua, just to make sure. We saw a great drive back yesterday from Clemens Schmidt after an incident at turn 1 on lap 1, and he got rotated around, and he was putting in fastest lap of the race after fastest lap of the race, but he was just too far behind our leaders. Yesterday's race finished with Sayed Al Mahiri on the top step of the podium, Zayed Ashkanani in second, and Sheikh Asher Al Maktoum in third. They've qualified a little bit down as Zayed Ashkanani on pole position, Clemens Schmidt in second, Abdulaziz Al Faisal in third, Charlie Friends in fourth, Sheikh Asher Al Maktoum in fifth, Ahmed Al Athi in sixth, Bandar Al Ace in seventh, Zayed Al Mahiri in eighth, should be Rayad Rafi in ninth, Wolfgang Triller in 10th. We'll let you know all of their positions once we get the grid away. 10 laps is the race distance. We've got some cars doing practice starts down towards turn 16 to get some heat into those big rear tyres. So we're looking forward to a good battle between Zayed Ashkanani, our reigning champ, Clemens Schmidt from the Autodrome racing team. as Clement Schmidt makes his way down to the second position. The standing start, the pole position is on the grandstand side. That's on the sticky part of the circuit. As in Zayed Ashkanani heads down there now in car number 1. So Leckner Racing now having done, this is their 6th season of Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. And Leckner Racing also celebrating 4 decades of motorsport as we celebrate here at Dubai Autodrome for our 10th anniversary. November 2004 when we were first on track. And a lot of motorsport has passed underneath, over the top of the tarmac here at Dubai Autodrome. It's fantastic to have the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East here. They're doing another 2 rounds in the 2015 calendar year back here at Dubai Autodrome. And what a fantastic sight that is. So we have 15 cars on the grid. A lot of attention down to 5th position, Sheikh Hasha Al Maktoum, as we clear the grid and build up towards the start of this 10-lap race. So they'll head off on their warm-up lap very shortly, and they'll lay a heap of rubber down in their respective starting slots to get some adhesion off the line. I was talking to someone, Al Kata, during the break. He said they're really difficult to get off the line. There's a very fine line for having the car bogged down or go into wheel spin, and you just got to judge those revs correctly. And we saw that yesterday with Clement Schmidt having a bit of a trouble getting off the line. The car bogged down. He had to bite the clutch again to get the car back moving. And not an easy thing to do in these high horsepower Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge cars as we clear the grid. And they'll be heading off around the 5.39 kilometre long Grand Prix configuration, 16 corners. And as yesterday, we had them 4 wide down into turn 1 for the start. As the grid is cleared. And Leckner Motorsports team make their way off the grid. And we're all set to go racing for 10 laps of Porsche Fury. As the engines are started. So it's Zayed Ashkanani on pole, Clement Schmidt 2nd, Abdulaziz Al Faisal 3rd, Charlie French 4th, Hashar Al Maktoum in 5th, Ahmed Al Athi in 6th, Bandar Al 7th, Saad Al Mahiri in 8th, Rad Rafi 9th, Wolfgang Triller rounding out the top 10. Lots of trophies to be presented at the end of the day. Gold, silver, bronze, best Middle Eastern driver, rookie driver. Green flag is there. Zayed Ashkanani plants the foot. So the starting lineup will be Zayed Ashkanani on pole, Clement Schmidt 2nd, Abdul Aziz Al Faisal in 3rd, Charlie French in 4th, Hashar Al Maktoum in 5th, Ahmed Al Athi in 6th, Bandar Al 7th, Saad Al Mahiri in 8th, Raid Rafi in 9th, Wolfgang Triller in 10th, Ahmad Jawa in 11th, Magnus Oman in 12th, Rob Frins in 13th, Fawaz Al Ghasabi in 14th, and Alain Moreau in 15th position as the cars make their way around turn 7 into the sunlight, the sun shining brightly in their eyes as they head up towards the 8-9 complex. The parabolica that leads them on to the long back straight. And as they head on the back straight, warming the tyres up, driving the car from side to side over the track, getting lateral load into the tyres. Accelerating, then braking hard, getting some temperature into the brakes. Keeping an eye on fuel pressure, oil temperature, water temperature. Getting everything in the green zones as the cars now head to the hardest braking corner on the circuit, turn 10. Once again, a very good overtaking spot. Turn 1 is one of the overtaking spots into turn 7. Then down at turn 10. And as the leader heading up towards turn 12 now, you can make a move up there. That's the third good overtaking spot on the circuit as they head around turn 12, down towards the left-hand sweeper, turn 13. And another overtaking spot into turn 14, the bowl complex behind the pits. As the leaders head down towards there now. So it's Zaid Ashkanani on pole, Clement Schmidt second, Abdulaziz Al Faisal third, Charlie French fourth, Sheikh Hashim Al Maktoum in fifth, Ahmed Al Athi in sixth, Bandar Alese seventh, Saad Al Mahiri eighth, Rad Rafi in ninth, Wolfgang Triller 10th, Mohammed Jawa in 11th, Magnus Oman in 12th, Rob Fringe in 13th, Fawaz Al Ghasabi 14th, and Elaine Marua in 15th. 10 laps of racing coming your way for the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Middle East. Round number 4, who is it going to be? As Zaid Ashkanani heads down towards that pole position slot. Clement Schmidt in the Al Nabuta Racing Porsche pulls up into second position. Just a little bit back from, so we can creep forward a little bit. Everybody just being gentle into the pit box. It's very difficult to see where those yellow lines are on the side of the pit box, where you've got to try and line up with. Waiting for the final cars to come down into position. The red lights will go on, and then they will go off. Final car now into position. We are under starters orders. 5-second board goes out, lights are on. Racing! Clement Schmitz gets an absolute flyer of a start. There's contact between him and Ashkanani as they go down the start-finish straight.
3 wide going down the front straightaway. The battle for second place rages on between Abdulaziz Al Faisal and Zaid Ashkanani.
Try and pick them up as they come around turn 2. That's a long way down there.
Still 2 wide going through the turn 2 and turn 3.
So it's Clement Schmidt currently in the lead from Zaid Ashkanani. Looks like Charlie Friends is in that mix as well. Zaid Ashkanani right on the back bumper of Schmidt as they go into 7. We're line astern through there. Saad Al Mahiri trying to make a move up from his 9th position as they exit turn 9 onto the back straight for the first time.
Sheikh Hassan Al Maktoum trying to get alongside Abdulaziz Al Faisal, still behind him, going down the run to turn 10.
And this is where we think a lot of overtaking is going to happen. Clement Schmidt's got enough lead there, and it's Sheikh Hassan Al Maktoum makes the move on Abdulaziz Al Faisal. I think it was Charlie Friends actually. Abdulaziz Al Faisal's back in 5th position. And Hashar Al Maktoum up into 3rd, still fighting with, looks like, Charlie Friends. And as they come around turn 12 for the first time, heading down towards turn 13. Once again, the tyres aren't really that warm as they get into this braking zone here. And it's Clement Schmidt leading from Zaid Ashkanani. There's Hashar Al Maktoum. Their line astern around turn 15. Pretty much single file all the way down into 16. Nobody making diving moves under brakes as they concertina up and they come across the line for the first time. So it's Clement Schmitz in the lead from Zaid Ashkanani. Sheikh Hashar Al Maktoum in 3rd. Abdulaziz Al Faisal in 4th. Charlie Friends in 5th. Bandar Alese 6th. Saad Al Mahiri in 7th. Ahmed Al Athi in 8th. Wolfgang Triller in 9th. Mohammed Jawa in 10th. Raed Rafi 11th. Magnus Oman in 12th. Rob Friends in 13th. Fawaz Al Ghasabi 14th. Lane Marua in 15th position. So the leaders are already around at turn 7.
Charlie Fringe is hot on the tail of Abdulaziz Al Faisal. Looked for a move around the back part of the track, but now still behind him. As we see there, a battle for fourth place.
And Hashir Al Maktoum has started to break away from Abdulaziz Al Faisal now in pursuit of Zaid Ashkanani running second. And it's Clement Schmitz from Autodrome Racing out in the lead at the moment. They're on lap 2. The front 3 have broken away. And then it's Abdulaziz Al Faisal, Charlie Fringe and Badr Alese having a great battle down into turn 10.
Charlie Fringe getting right at the back bumper there of Abdulaziz Al Faisal.
Can't make that move stick down there. And on the back of that train is Said Al Mahir. Is there's about 6 cars very, very close together as they head up the hill towards turn 12. Said Al Mahiri trying to put a move on Bandar Alese. Not sure if that came off as they head down the hill.
Just as they go out of view, Charlie Fringe trying to make a move on Abdulaziz Al Faisal, going into turn 13.
The leader's down into the bowl.
Charlie just drops back behind Al Faisal.
And there's a 5-way battle behind the front 3.
For fourth place.
And that's Abdulaziz Al Faisal, Charlie Fringe, Bandar Alese, Sayed Al Mahiri and Ahmed Al Arthi. So they all head down towards turn 16. Keep an eye on the gaps. So Rayad Rafi's moved up into the 10. 2:02.180 for Clement Schmidt. 0.9 of a second ahead of Zaid Ashkanani. 1.1 back to Hashir Al Maktoum. 2.2 back to Abdulaziz Al Faisal. He's got 0.4 over Charlie Fringe. 0.3 back to Bandar Alese in 6th. 0.4 back to Said Al Mahiri in 7th. 0.3 back to Ahmed Al Arthi in 8th position. As our leaders head around turn 7.
And Ahmed Al Harthi's latching on the back of that fight for fourth place. He's getting close to the back of Saeed Al Mahiri.
Saeed Al Mahiri was our winner yesterday from Zaid Ashkanani and Sheikh Hashir Al Maktoum. As Clement Schmidt in the Al Nabuda Racing Porsche heads off down the back straight. He's followed by Zaid Ashkanani, the Buzaid car. And then it's Sheikh Hashir Al Maktoum skydived by Falcons car 82 getting a warning flag for track infringements.